Hello again, and welcome to Stir in the Pot with Cheryl and
And Rony.
well, today we have a special episode. We've gotten some feedback, of course, not online. We need you to, tell us these things online. But we've gotten a few feedback on people who wants to actually see me cook in the kitchen. So yay! We're going to be going into the kitchen today, and I'm going to be preparing one or two dishes today. So we're going to still do the whole method of stirring, Miss Hannah to see, which menu we're going to be preparing first, actually. So we have a choice of two. Usually I prepare, at least 2 to 3 meals a day. So that, pretty much cuts down my time in the kitchen throughout the week. I like to prepare fresh meals for my family at least 5 days a week. On the weekend, they're on their own. But usually I'll cook maybe 2 meals, which will last for 2 days, sometimes three. So that way I'm only usually in the kitchen preparing and doing all that stuff, and then they are able to have fresh meal, 5 days a week, right?
Yes, indeed. And she cooks delicious meals. So I am happy with that. So remember to please uh, subscribe to this channel, also share and like our videos because that's how we're able to improve our algorithms and we're able to reach out more people. So like, share, and of course, subscribe to GAHFU Garifuna channel.
So just a little bit. When I'm going through the recipe, I usually cook, by just eyeballing and everything like that. So don't freak out. We're gonna actually put like the precise, menu items and the things that I'm putting in as we go. So when you scroll down, you'll be able to get the recipe, what I'm actually doing. But when I'm in the kitchen, I'm in the zone. So you might just see me putting something in there, but I'll explain it to you as I go. At least try to do my best. Again, this is all a learning process. When I'm in the kitchen, I'm usually just, again, in my own zone, but I will try to be mindful to make sure that I, kind of keep you on track on what I'm actually doing. So today we have a choice of which 2 meals I'm going to prepare first. So go ahead and let them know.
So choice number one will be black beans
Black
with
bean chili.
chili, black bean chili, I'm sorry, with flour tortillas. And the second choice is one of my favorites, the combination gumbo with rice. When we say combination, is because it has shrimp, chicken, this and that. So you're gonna see the ingredients. And also under the description section of this video, we're going to list the ingredients, the time that is needed to be cooked, and any particular information that has to do with putting that nice flavor into your cooking.
And if I forget something, or you have any questions, just go ahead and send us a message and say, hey, how many cups did you put in there, or what did you put in there? Let me know, and then I'll try to answer it for you. But we're gonna take a little break right now. We're gonna transition into the kitchen, and you know what? First of all, let's go ahead and put them in there because we're gonna choose which one we're going to prepare first. So, Miss Hannah, we're gonna go ahead and stir in the pot and see which one of these menus we're gonna prepare first. So you do the honors, my dear.
All right, so it looks like the first choice will be combination gumbo with
All right.
rice.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna head out to the kitchen and we'll meet you on the other side. All righty. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye bye.
So, hi, this is Cheryl again. Welcome to Stir in the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie. We are now in my kitchen, my favorite part of the room. And before we get started, the first thing I'm going to do is, of course, always wash my hands. Wash my hands to make sure that we start off, being all clean. You'll see me washing my hands periodically because, of course, we got to make sure that we don't have any cross contaminations or anything like that. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And I'm just going to introduce you to some of the few basic utensils that I'm going to use. Of course, my measuring cup, my various spoons, and I have my various cutting board. I usually use this so I can knead my flour, my dough, and everything like that. I separate that from what I use to cut my veggies. And then I have another one that we're going to go over there right now to do the meat, to cut the meat and everything like that. So our first menu today is the combination gumbo with rice. Just a little heads up, if you follow me over here, I kind of did a little bit of shortcut. I'd already prepared the rice because the rice, of course, takes about 20 minutes to cook. So what I did was I made the rice. Now, if you look at it, it's not like rice that you're used to. So what's in there is basically chipilín. That's a vegetable from Guatemala that we use in our rice in our home because it's my husband and my son's favorite rice. So the rice is basically jasmine rice. Is 1.5 cup of rice to 3 cups of water. No salt. I didn't put any salt in there. I use 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and then I put of course, the chippeling in there, and I'm gonna stir it so you can see what it looks like when it's all nice and stirred. It looks really, really pretty. Look at how beautiful that is.
And the steam coming out of it.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So again, this is my husband and my son's favorite rice. That's what it looks like when it's all done. This is 20 minutes in the crock pot. Again, it was for our family because we're small, it's only 3 of us. It was 1.5 cup of water. I'm sorry, 1.5 cup of rice to 3 cups of water, 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, no salt. Salt is optional if you want salt in there, but you honestly don't need salt with the flavor of the coconut oil in there. You don't need it. So that's what I use. Yeah, 20 minutes and we're good to go. So my next part is I'm going to go into the refrigerator and grab my meats. We have what you'll notice when I continue to do this is I save a lot of prep time by already utilizing things that I've already have. So like for example, you'll see that I have just 1 second. Let me go ahead and gather all of my stuff out that I will be using for the gumbo. So we have frozen salmon. Okay, I'm going to cut that up for you and show you how I dice it up. Okay, then we have shrimp, that jumbo shrimp that I've already seasoned. I'll let you know how I season that up. And we have sausage, that I'm going to go ahead and brown a little bit. I'm not going to tell you which sausage, but you can use whatever sausage. This is the Louisiana brand sausage. And then, so I cooked earlier during the week. You know what? I actually cooked over the weekend. I cooked on Saturday. And this was my leftover chicken breast. So what I did was I cubed up the chicken breast so I could use it today to make the gumbo. And then the way that I always do things is like I usually make like, especially if I'm using a big amount of meat like chicken breast, I'll usually do like maybe 2 or 3 dishes out of that. Like this will be for gumbo, and I still have another piece of breast that I basically I shredded up, and probably later on in the week, maybe Friday, I'll make like nachos or something like that. So nothing goes to waste in this household. So I'm going to start with the sausage. I'm going to give it a little bit of color. If you want to come on this side, let me go ahead and cut it up real quick.
And you are watching Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Rony.
Yes, you are. So I am cutting this up and just, you know, usually I would use my scissors, but I didn't have that out here for you today. So what I'm going to do is just do one sausage real quick and show you what I'm talking about. So basically it's just cutting up nice bite size, chunky. My son really loves a lot of sausage, so for him, I do a lot of sausage. And my husband loves a lot of fish, so for him, I put extra fish in there. So this is what it looks like, all cut up, and roll that up a little bit and just put that in there and let it kind of brown up. It doesn't take that long. I'm going to put it up a little bit so we could do that real quick. Because again, this is live and we're trying to make this happen for you. I'm going to go wash my hands off again. Again, being safe.
And for those of you who missed it, we are preparing the combination gumbo with rice. And the rice has a chipilín. We'll put in our description section where you could find chipilín and the spelling of it. And so you could actually find it at any of the local markets.
So, I'm not going to tell you the brand, but Chipilín usually comes, in the frozen section. You keep it frozen. We used to have a guy like in Long Beach that had like a Chipilín farm, but we lost contact with him. We used to get like fresh Chipilín, and we tried to grow it, but I'm so not good with. I don't have a green thumb, so it didn't grow right. So we still go and we purchase it, and we usually have Chipilín in our freezer any given time. I use this to make Chipilín eggs. I make Chipilín with beans, and of course the household favorite is Chipilín with rice. Okay, so keep it in the freezer and always have it handy.
The Cajun sausage
Mm-hmm.
getting browned with a little bit of oil.
Yep. I don't know where. Oh, there it goes.
Okay.
Again, not used to all of this. So I had already altogether, like I said, my son loves sausages. So altogether, I used 3 sausages. And we just wanted to get a little bit of color, just a little bit. And then I'll use this probably for breakfast the remainder tomorrow. I'll make like, sausage and egg and use this and, give it a nice savory taste for the eggs in the morning with whatever I decide to make. And then again, I did some earlier ahead of time to cut some on the time that it will prepare for me to do this. So this is the Louisiana sausage. I won't tell you the brand, but I'm just saying it's delicious. Just a little bit of coloring. And this is going to take like little or no time to make because everything is pretty much pre-cooked except for the seafood. So that's that over there. And I'm going to go ahead and start layering this. I'm going to put just a little bit of olive oil in here. I mean, I prefer olive oil. You could use whatever oil you like, but for, us little health conscious people, I'm just going to use a little bit of olive oil in here just to saute my vegetables. So again, I've already pre-cooked, I've already pre-cut my veggies. So what I have here is I have um, green bell pepper, onions, and red bell pepper. And of course, I have some garlic in there. Okay, so that's going to be, I'm going to put this in for my roux. Just a little bit of olive oil, put that in there. You can hear the nice
The
little,
word is roux,
yeah.
which is a French word used in the preparation of gumbo.
Hmm. So again, you could make everything from scratch. Like if I was making this for like, a big gathering for family, I would make the roux from scratch. But because, for the sake of time, and I'm doing this in the middle of the week when I'm usually busy and everything like that, I'm just gonna go ahead and do a little cheat sheet, and I'm gonna use prepared roux. We're not gonna show the label, but we're using this. It's gonna
That's a
be
gumbo premix. It's
the
powder.
gumbo premix, and that's what I'm gonna be using. I'm gonna just basically use the directions, read the direction, it'll tell you how to prepare it. It's pretty simple. And when you do it like that, it's about 15 minutes to cook compared to if I were to do it from scratch, it will take about 30 minutes to do all of that. So again, because I'm cooking pretty much 2 to 3 meals a day, I try to make it as simple as possible. And you can see the color in here is just beautiful. Just wanted to get a little bit translucent. Again, I didn't put a lot of oil in there, you know. And I'm the type of cook that I usually clean as I go because I don't like a dirty kitchen. So with my shrimp, all I have is cumin. I have some paprika in here. But first of all, before I did all of that, I cleaned up my shrimp. Of course, I have to clean it up really good. I cleaned up my shrimp first with some vinegar and then some lemon. And I know some people don't clean when they clean their shrimp, they don't take out that black part that's in the
The
shrimp.
vein.
That's over here, that's vein. It's a necessity. I always, clean out that vein and everything like that because to me that was the way I was taught. So again, for my seasoning and shrimp, it's basically cumin or cumin, whichever, legume, and then some paprika, and then black pepper, and just a dash of salt. I mean, not even just a dash. We try not to use a lot of salt in our household. So again, this is the cube chicken from Saturday. I just cubed it up. That's gonna go in there too.
Has that been seasoned, the chicken?
Yes, it was seasoned when it was cooked because all I did was just basically boil the chicken in consomme for the dish that I made that particular day. I forgot what I made. I made chow mein. I made chicken chow mein. So prior to making the chicken chow mein, I boiled the chicken breast in some consomme and garlic. So there's no need to season it in there. There's no need to season it again because it's already pretty much seasoned. And then yes. So we're getting to this part because that's still over there, getting all nice, and it's almost ready for me to add the next part of it. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and, cut up this. This is again frozen salmon. You could use whatever fish you want. I don't know a lot of people who put fish in their gumbo, but I learned how to put fish in my gumbo from my mom. She did it, I did it, and I learned from her. All I do is just cut it. My husband likes it nice and chunky, so I'm going to cut it nice and chunky. Okay, that's part of my prep. You see how chunky those pieces are? So every bite he gets a nice chunk of salmon. You could cut it smaller if you want to, but again, I know the way my husband loves to have that nice chunk of fish every time he gets a spoon. So I'm cutting it nice and chunky for him. So once I'm done cutting it, again, this is what I normally do, and I'm going to show you my steps. It's going to be really quick, but basically, again, I double clean everything that I make. So every time, whatever meat I'm making, I always double rinse it, double clean it, so it's always in here. A little bit of vinegar to get that, whatever meat you're using. If you're like, if you're making any kind of beef or whatever, it gets that meat smell, that rank smell. In this case, it gets that fish smell out of it. And I, you know, just take that out like that. Then my next cleaning process is I squeeze a little bit of lemon. Get that out the way. Put that here. And I would add to that particular ingredient, I'm just adding 4 things, simple things. Okay? 4 simple things. You can see this is how little salt I'm adding. Just a little dash of salt. Because, salt layers. You already have layers.
What is that?
That was salt. This is cumin, whatever.
Cumin. Okay.
And a little bit of paprika. I'm just eyeballing it, but, to your liking. I'm adding just black pepper.
Black pepper now.
Again, 4 things, paprika, cumin, salt, and then, this has been seasoned already. That's what it looks like. That's already been seasoned. I'm going to add this to what's already been seasoned so it gets all that marinated juice. You use your hand. We're at home. If I was cooking for family and friends, of course, I would be using, gloves or whatnot. And I do things the old-fashioned way, the way my grandmother taught me. I always taste their seasoning. Everything tastes good. You can see that's looking the way that I want it to be. And some people pour water in there first, or, to prepare their stock, or they pour this in there first. What I'm going to do is just to lift up all of that's at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and just pour just a little bit of room temperature water in here just to lift all that up. See? Now I'm an old cook. Don't do what I do. My son is always like, "Mommy, where's your where's your mittens? Where's your glove?" But this is, the way I do things. Okay, and then you just add that in there.
That's the gumbo mix.
That's the gumbo mix. We're gonna add that in and then stir because we don't want it to get lumpy. And you just make sure that it's totally dissolved. And this recipe calls for 6 cups of water. So once I dissolve it, I'm going to add the remainder of the water in there. So again, you follow according to the recipe of the gumbo package. Or again, if I was doing this from scratch, I would,
So that's 6 cups of water right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Actually 7. The package is for 7.
Okay. 7.
Mm-hmm. 7 cups of water. So look at how beautiful that looks already. Look at how beautiful that roux looks. Again, I'm just making sure all of that is dissolved because we don't want it to be lumpy. Okay, see, it's all dissolved. And I use this type of spoon because if it's a little bit of lump, you could kind of like just, get it out. It's a lot quicker this way. So I'm going to just let that simmer a little bit. I'm not going to let it boil. I just want it to simmer. But while that's happening over there on that side, let me clean up this area and have everything here so I could just load it in when it's time for me to load everything in. I have, again, my seafood. I have my fish. I have my shrimp. And the chicken cubed. And I have the Louisiana sausage. And all of that is going to go into my gumbo. Fish, of course, it doesn't take that long. Fish and shrimp about 15 minutes. So while that's happening on that
Wife,
side,
I have a question. Are you going to add any okra?
I will at the end. The last 10 minutes of the cooking, I'm going to add that. And I'm going to add frozen okra. I'm not going to have the fresh okra because usually, for whatever reason around here, whenever we buy fresh okra, it goes spoil real quick. So, I opt for the frozen okra. So while that's happening, I'm going to actually, I'm going to use the same oil that I use, the little bit of base oil that I use to brown the Louisiana sausage, because I'm going to be making because I'm going to be making the chili with ground turkey instead of ground beef. Turkey needs a little bit of help.
This is the other dish that we are going to prepare, which is the chili beans.
Yeah, so the next dish that we're going to be preparing, once my hands are clean and I'm able to go back to what we're doing, excuse me, let me go ahead and do what I need to do real quick. So this is ground turkey. I'm just going to go ahead and put that in here. We're going to brown that. Let me go ahead again, washing my hands because I just touched poultry. And whenever you're touching meat, you got to make sure your hands stay clean so you don't cross-contaminate as you go through. So the reason I'm using the same oil from earlier when I sauteed brown the Louisiana because it's ground turkey, it's kind of bland. So when you use that little remnants of the sausage, it gives it a little bit of flavor, and then you don't need to add any salt. To me, again, we try to avoid salt here as much as possible. We use reduced salt. You know, uh, what I do, rule of thumb for me is I know it's different for everybody. Like I was taught, if you use one type of salt, if you're using consomme, which already has, salt, or if you're using all-purpose seasoning, which already has salt, you don't have to put like table salt in there, because you're just building salt on top of salt on top of salt. So whenever I'm doing something, I try to use as less salt as possible, just, just for the sake of our health and just to reduce that sodium intake.
And folks, please don't forget to subscribe to this GAHFU channel, GAHFU Garifuna channel. Also share and like this content.
This is the Chipilín rice with coconut oil. No salt was added. It doesn't need it. The coconut oil and the chipilín gives it flavor. And I'm just browning the ground turkey. I'm going to put a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and check on my roux over here. Have your hands over it.
Go.
So, welcome back to the kitchen. And again, this is the roux, nice and simmered and everything like that. So everything is pre-cooked. The chicken is pre-cooked. So I'm going to just add the chicken there, not a lot. Okay. And I am going to add my Louisiana sausage, which again, I sauteed earlier to give it that nice, beautiful color. Then I'm going to, again, the roux only takes about 15 minutes. And of course, when it comes to seafood basically takes about 15 to 20 minutes. So I'm putting everything in there because, like I said, my meat's already pre-cooked. So this is the salmon that I'm adding. You can see it's just building. Okay, let's get all that in there. And I am going to add my shrimp. Okay, I have 8 shrimp, jumbo shrimp in there, 4 each for my guys. I don't do shrimp, I don't eat shrimp, but I do it for them. Stir it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to bring that to a quick boil, and then I'm going to let it simmer. We're going to get started on the next part, and I'll let that, simmer down for about maybe a good, let's say 15 to about 20 minutes. And the last 10 minutes, I'm going to go ahead and add the okra to it. I'm going to just bring that to a quick boil. Look at already, it's not even done yet, but look how gorgeous it looks. Okay, this is my combination gumbo. Don't do what I do. I should really be using a map, but I'm so used to, doing it the way that I do. So over here, this is the other dish that we are working on. As you can see, the ground turkey is looking nice and delicious. I'm looking at my husband because I think he's going to burn himself on that hot rice cooker. Okay. So this is pretty much done. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to transfer the next pot that I'm going to be using. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I do a lot of pre-cooking, so pre-prep work is out of the way. So yesterday, in preparation for today's dish, I went ahead and I cooked the black beans. So I cooked the black beans with some chicken consomme and some garlic. That's all I put in there to cook it. I cooked it for about maybe 2.5 hours. It depends on the density that you want the beans. Some people like their beans mushy. Some like their beans a little bit, more textured. So I know that my husband likes it a little bit dense. So I cooked it for about 2.5 minutes. Hours, sorry, 2.5 hours. Oh my goodness. When you're serving two masters. So so again, this is starting to just get a little bit of boil, and everything's coming together. And I have not added any salt to that except for the little bit of salt that I did to season the fish earlier, and that's it. So I'm just waiting for it to boil just a little bit, and I can start my tortilla. So now I'm starting to work on the homemade flour tortilla. Okay, so earlier we picked out the first menu. It was a combination gumbo with rice. We've already have that started. It's on the pot. The gumbo is simmering, and so I'm going to get started with my next dish, which is the black bean chili with flour tortilla, homemade flour tortilla. I've already started the ground turkey. I boiled my beans, and I'm going to put everything together for you. So that's what we're doing right now. Because it's only just me, myself, and my husband.
Myself and I.
Me, myself, and I, and my oh my God. That sounds like a song. Anyway, but because it's me, my husband, and my son really loves a lot of flour tortillas. So I'm gonna make, about I'll say about 1.5 cups I'm going to start off with, but this is actually 2 cups of flour. You know what, when you're serving two masters, your brain gets a little bit confused. So flour, 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 flour. All-purpose flour is what I'm using. And like I said earlier, you could go ahead and put salt in this recipe. I'm not going to put salt in there. So salt is an option if you want to put it in the flour tortilla. I'm not using salt. Again, when you're layering flavored, salt is not necessary. When you read the label, there's already sodium in everything that we're using, so there's no need to continue to add salt to it. So with this, again, 2 cups of flour, and I'm leaving just a little bit less than a half. So, just in case the flour is a little bit too sticky, I could just add a little bit in there so to keep the flour from being too sticky. So with that, I am going to, again, usually I eyeball it for the sake of you all. I'm going to actually use measuring. So I am using one
spoon.
One teaspoon. Exactly. 1.5 teaspoon. One and then a half.
And that's baking powder.
I'm sorry. Yeah, baking powder. That. Thank you for keeping me on track, hubby, because my mind is all over the place. Like I said, like I kind of, gave you a disclaimer earlier. Like I forget because once I'm in the kitchen, it's like tunnel vision. So having to do all of this as, for you all, yeah, it's a lot. So this is 1.5 teaspoon, not tablespoon, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. Okay. And so far, again, we have, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1.5 teaspoon of baking powder. I did not put salt in there. And I am going to I'm going to change this up because I don't want to mess that up, but I am going to use, this is my coconut oil. And I am going to, because we're making flour tortilla and we're not going to be using any oil in anything, I'm going to actually put 2 tablespoons of oil in here, okay? That's 2 tablespoons of coconut oil that I'm using. And Some people put more, some people put less, and this works out for me for my recipe that I'm using. Now, you have an option here. Those who are not comfortable with working with coconut milk, use water. You're going to use water, use room temperature water. Now, my family loves um, tortilla with coconut milk, so I'm going to use coconut milk and I am going to eyeball it. So, what I mean by eyeballing is just put a little bit at a time, shake it up. Forgot to shake it up. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay, shake it up a little bit. Again, I'm eyeballing it. I'm eyeballing it. The way I eyeball it is because you don't want the flour to be too sticky. I could eyeball it and then I'm kneading it, and I'm gonna add coconut water, coconut milk as I need it. Okay, add a little bit at a time.
Coconut milk,
Coconut
folks.
milk, not coconut water. Jesus. Oh my goodness, forgive me, people. I am so tired right now, but I'm doing this for you all. That's why you need to click like and register, subscribe, or whatever you got to do to make this channel grow so you could continue to see me making all these crazy learning curve
Delicious
and
recipes.
recipe with the learning curve. So I'm kneading, I'm kneading, I'm kneading.
Look at those fingers. Look at that hand, the way it moves to be able to be kneading the flour.
Get every little ounce in here. Yeah, that's why, as you can see, I left a little bit here. It's not sticky. It's, I just have to get it all together. And again, some people have different methods of what they do. My mom would, at this point, would like kind of dump her hand in the coconut milk and just kind of turn it around to get it in there because you don't want it to get too sticky. And you just knead. It's not the consistency that I want yet, so I'm just gonna put you see how I'm just putting just a little bit in here, just like a maneuver the dough the way that I want it to. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. And I'm okay because it's not a lot of dough, but sometimes from here, if I was making a big batch of dough, I would go ahead. This is my kneading board that I use, and I would put just a little bit of flour here so it wouldn't stick. And I would just, get my elbow up in there. Knead this. You want to knead that real good. Because I could do it in a bowl and everything because it's not that big. But I want a nice.
Please leave your comments under this video to let us know whether you think this process is very difficult, and if you need some advice from Cheryl, she could actually give you an answer to your comments. This could be tedious. I mean, this is a lot of work. But if you love to cook, if you like to make some delicious food, this is the way to go.
Yeah, some people like their dough a little bit, sticky. I don't. But again, if that's the texture that you want to go for, you do you. Some people will sit up there and use a knife. I don't use a knife to separate it. I just separate it like this. And I'm going to go ahead and make my little balls because I'm making mini tortillas. I'm not making those big tortillas. And I know with this dough that I basically use, I could make about 8 because I know you and your Sonny likes to eat. So with this,
This is the actual process, folks. This is where the tortilla is going to form.
and everybody have their own way of making a ball. Some people go into the whole two hand motion, and then they do it like this, and it's up to you. I usually don't do the two hand motion, but I'm showing it for you because it's a process. It's one way some people do it. I don't usually do it like that, but for the sake of just showing you, doing it like that. Okay. So welcome back. As you can see, the gumbo's all done. The combination gumbo is all done. Look at how beautiful that is. Okay. Again, we have chicken, we have Louisiana sausage, we have salmon, we have shrimp, and we have okra. That's the finished product. I'll plate it out in a little bit, but I'm gonna finish up with our second dish, which is the chili, the black bean chili. Okay, so we're gonna move that to the back of the stove. So what I'm doing over here is I'm gonna go ahead and saute I've already pre-diced my tomato. This is whole tomatoes, 2 tomatoes, whole tomatoes, and I cut them up, dice them up, and I'm gonna add them, olive oil and tomatoes. I'm gonna soften that up earlier. Of course, this is the ground turkey that I'm gonna add once that's softened up for me. Okay, look at how beautiful those tomatoes are. And it won't take that long for that to soften up. So here we go. This is, the consistency of the tomato that I like. My husband likes a little bit of the tomato to be chunky, so that's about right there. What I'm going to do at this point is, again, this is the ground turkey that I had cooked previously. So I'm going to just add that to my diced tomato. And mix this all up together. Look at how beautiful that looks. I'm going to lower it a little bit. And then I have my chili mix over here, okay? And I'm adding, for this, about, I'm going to just start off with 1.5 tablespoon, and then I'm going to check it for taste. So for right now, I'm just going to do 1.5. And then I'm going to add it for taste afterwards once I add the beans to it. So I'm mixing that all around. Look at how beautiful that looks. So I added the seasoning, the chili seasoning into this, and then I'm adding 1 can of tomato sauce, okay? 1 full can of tomato sauce. If you want to, you could add a little bit of water to add the residual in there. I don't need to do that. I'm just gonna add this here. And then, as I usually, I eyeball stuff, but for the sake of you all, I'm going to, here's my already cooked beans. So while that's, getting all together, I always put my beans first. I know my husband loves the beans. So I'm putting the bean first. I'm going to add that to the chili. Then I'm going to add the water of the bean into the. So this is about 2 cups of that beans.
2 cups.
Then I'm going to ladle another 2 cups because we need the fluid for the meat to cook in. Probably another 2 cups of fluids all together. 2 cups of beans with 2 cups of fluid. And then I will look at it and see if I like the way it looks, if it's too thick, if it's too thin, then I'll portion it a little bit better. But this is where we're at in the process right now. This is because I know my husband likes more beans. I'm going to actually add a little bit more beans to it because he likes that bean look. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get, and I'm just getting just the beans, because my husband likes the beans. And, you know, of course, I'm going to have some leftover beans left. So what I'll probably do in the coming week is either I will make some stew beans and rice, or rice and beans, or I'll make, you know, probably I'll use this for the ganaches as well. I'll refry the beans and just add it to the recipe. So this is about 1 cup or so of beans, that just plain beans without the water, that I'm adding. As everything comes together, it's going to thicken up. You know, you could add, some people put like, you know, like flour to thicken it up. This is going to thick up naturally. I'm going to taste it.
I have a question. So for people who want to make these um, chili beans, they could also use ground beef, right? It doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be, you know, ground turkey. You can use ground beef or whatever. I just choose to use ground turkey as a healthier option for our family. As you can see, I have not added no salt to this, and it's perfect the way that it is. All I added was the chili seasoning mix. It was 1.5 tablespoons of that. I'm going to add just a little bit of pepper to it because I like pepper. And I'm just going to let that, because everything is pretty much cooked, I'm going to let this simmer. And while that simmer, I'm going to cover this, and we're going to head right over there to the
For how long is the simmering of the?
About 15 minutes.
15 minutes? Okay.
And then we're gonna turn around right behind us. I'm just gonna rinse my hands out real quick, and we're gonna go to the tortilla. So where we left off at earlier, I had knead the dough, and this is what it looked like after I was done rolling all of them. I made 9 altogether. Usually my husband and my son, they have 4 each, because I make mini tortillas, and then I make one for me. So we have 9 in there. I cover it up, let it sit for a little bit. So this is going to go a little bit fast. So I have my pan that I'm going to go ahead, and I've already sprayed it down. I sprayed it down with some vegetable oil, but you could always wipe it down with some coconut oil or whatever oil you want to do. I'm going to let this get a little bit warm, and then I'm going to come back, show you how I, you know, get the tortilla dough flat, and then start cooking. Okay, see you in a little bit. So welcome back. We're going to be needing the tortilla, the fresh homemade flour tortilla made with, of course, coconut milk, you know. So this is, again, the dough after I made them. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 ways of kneading it. You could do it the traditional old-fashioned way with this, with the whole kneading pin. If you do that, put a little bit of flour on there, put a little bit of flour on where you're going to be kneading out the dough. So this is the traditional method, which takes a little bit, you know, you could do it this way, you could do it with your fingers like that. Yeah, some people that do it like this, you know, to kind of put it out. Depends on your method. Then you can, you know, to form that circle and just knead it.
I can see the tortilla already.
You see it? Now, keep in mind, I have been doing this since I was about 8 years old. So don't feel intimidated that it's like, oh my God, I can't get it into a circle. It doesn't look like a circle. It looks like a square. It looks like a triangle. I am 53 years old now. And again, I've been making tortilla, making fried jack, cooking since I was 8 years old. I learned from my grandmother, my mom, my dad. So again, I'm making mini tortillas. I know you're used to seeing those big tortillas. Just for when I'm cooking for my family, I just make mini tortillas. So this is one way of doing it. And I'm going to show you, again, living here in States, right? Living in America. Again, the traditional way. And then, what do you call this?
That's a tortilla maker.
Okay, that's usually I use this for the corn tortilla to make my masa and stuff like that too. Like, but this is what I'm doing. Easy breezy. Look at what is going to happen right here. You could use parchment paper, but don't waste your money on that. What I do is usually after I'm done with my bread, I have my bread here. When I'm done with my bread, I take it, I measure it out, measure it to this, I cut it, and then I save it so I could use it to like make my tortilla, to make my fried jack, and to make my my matzo when I'm making other recipes, which we'll get into another day. So this is that. Okay, I have my flour here. One, two, three, press. Look at that.
Voila.
Voila.
Folks, don't forget to please subscribe to our GAHFU Garifuna
And
channel, like and share so we could actually be able to create more content and get more people to watch these shows.
and come on over here, and we have our hot cast iron skillet, and we're just gonna put that in there like that. Okay, and then about 1 or 2 minutes, 1.5 minutes on each side. When they're done, they're gonna come out looking like this.
Voila.
Voila. If you want me to show you again the two different methods, I can, or you could just rewind this video and see what I just did. There's two methods that you could do it. Like I said, the traditional way, rolling it, or the easy way, using a tortilla maker. I like to show that again because it's always fun using this. And I'm keeping my eye on that, but I know how long it's going to take. But again, if you want to use, they come in different sizes. You just put it in here, align it. If your dough is too sticky, put a little bit of flour there, but just press it, and you're good to go.
All right.
Alrighty, and we'll come back, and I'm gonna plate up everything and show you how everything comes out, and we're gonna have dinner. So we are all done. Everything is finished. I plated the food. Our first dish again was combination gumbo with so many delicious meats in there. You'll be able to refresh and look at the menu and see everything that we actually put in there. And then the chipilín rice that went with that particular dish. And what usually happens here, whatever my husband and my son don't eat today, they'll eat tomorrow. So that way I don't have to cook, today and tomorrow. So that's how I eliminate cooking every day of the week. And then our second dish was black bean chili with turkey, with ground turkey, and then homemade flour tortilla made with coconut milk. So I hope you enjoyed this special cooking segment. We're going to try to, bring more cooking elements into the show. But thank you for joining us for Stirring the Pot with Cheryl and Ronnie. It was a lot today, but I hope you enjoyed this segment. And please don't forget to subscribe, press the like button and share so we could continue to grow our channel. Thank you so much and enjoy. Bon appetit. Ayo.